Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Richard, and this will be the Discovery Flight. Discovery Flight is for the first time a student pilot goes up in the air. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to follow this flight plan. We're at the Grand Strand Airport in North Middle Beach. We'll Departure will be runway 5, and there's all the details. The route, departure runway 5, we're going to tour up the beach for about 15 miles, fly over but not land at the Odell Williamston Municipal Airport, which is on the CRE VOR, TACAN or VOR, CRE 070 degree bearing for about 15 miles. Then we'll turn and go to the initial approach fix for the ILS back to runway 23 and land there. The cruising altitude will be 2,000 feet. Frequencies for both the VOR and the localizer. And here's the initial and final approach fix distance. With the minimums I'm going to fly today is a circling altitude of 520 feet. It's VFR. I won't really need that. So here are my comms and frequencies and all that. So let's see here. I've got, let me look at the radios here. So 124.6, 124.6 you see here is the tower frequency, and the other frequency I have dialed in is the 111.7, which is the ILS frequency. And 111.7 is right there. Okay, so that's the plan. We'll go back to that if we need. We'll go back out here. We're going to wind the power up to about 1,000% to make sure the engine stays warm. And the first thing we're going to do is follow the checklist. I always like to follow checklists. This is what the checklist first looks like. It's a spreadsheet with all the checklists and tabs up here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a passenger briefing. I do have survival gear available in the behind the seats. A first aid kit, an emergency locator transmitter, and a fire extinguisher are all available. Seatbelt operations, you need to learn to make sure how to lock and unlock it. Air vents if you need it. The flight control, please don't touch it while I'm flying, and while I'm on the radios, don't talk. And if you spot traffic, point it out to me. Emergency exit on the ground. If we can't get the canopy open, there's a canopy hammer in the back, and no smoking ever. So the before takeoff checklist looks like this. I have done most of it before we started. The one thing I do want to point out right here is I am using ForeFlight, and you'll see that when you see the video. I've got my VFR flight plan, my taxi clearance, and I need to sync the compass and be ready to go here. So let's put that away, and we can look back here and see that the canopy is locked, and we'll look right here and make sure everything is set. Okay, these are both, everything looks good. We'll put the flaps down when we get out to the runway. And so that's about it. All right, so let's get going here. So when I taxi, I like to look out up here. It's easier to see where you're going. So power, brakes are off, power is up. And you have to know that the front nose gear here is castered, meaning it's free swiveling nose gear. And you just have to sort of take that into consideration. Pulling the power back a little bit, so I slow down in the turns here. Okay, as I come up to the turn, I'm going to pull the throttle back to idle and take the turn slowly.
Approaching runway 0523.
And that was my ForeFlight talking, telling me that I'm coming out to the runway. Okay, so let's see here. Throttle back to about 1,000 looks good. And here we go. So we're going to take off on 05. Winds are calm. Weather's good. And we'll fly up the beach. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Power back to idle. Minimal braking. Quick tap of the brakes. Coming up to the required stop here. And
approaching runway 05.
That's ForeFlight talking. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is the map. Okay, so we're in North Myrtle Beach here. Here's Myrtle Beach. There's Conway. If you ever driven into Myrtle Beach, you went through Conway. And we're going to go up to this Williamston Airport here. It's about 15 miles up the coast, and we'll just be following along the coastline. I will be flying a radial here, and then we'll turn back and fly the ILS. We'll turn back to about here. I'll use the ILS as a guidance to get home. Okay. I'm not actually going to fly the ILS, but sometimes it's just as easy to, if you got it, use it. So let's see here. Let's put up the checklist here. Okay, so we've done all of that, and we taxied out, did all that. Okay, flight checks ForeFlight. I verified while I was moving, and we're going to do the engine run up right here. Aircraft is into the wind because there is no wind. The parking brake needs to be set. And so I'm going to do all of this off of my knee pad, and I'll have to turn this back off so you won't be seeing what I'm doing. But on my knee pad, I have, my knee pad is actually an iPad. So we're into the wind. And let's see, the parking brake is set. I'll actually set the parking brake. You can see that right here. So the parking brake is set, not just the regular brakes. Okay. The area behind the aircraft, we'll look behind, nothing there, nobody coming. And we'll go back to here. Seatbelt and shoulder harnesses are good. The master switches are on. The canopy is closed and latched, and you can see that right there. There's a latch on the canopy. The canopy warning light is out, and how you make sure is you do the press to test here, and they're all good, so the warning light is out. Fuel shutoff valve is in the correct position there. Fuel quantity indicators. So where to go here? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, we got more than half a tank of gas, plenty for the short flight we're going to do. The fuel prime check. The fuel primer here is off. The fuel pump is on right there. Trim, you can see the trim is neutral there. Flight controls, I've testing those are fine. Oil temperature, minimum of 75. Oil temperature, that's good, it's in the green. The mixture is rich. I'll do this, okay. I'll pull the mixture back a little bit and push it forward again. Yes, it's rich. The throttle, we'll put up to 1700 RPM here. Okay, 1700 RPM, and we will do the key is in both right now, so I'll move it to the left or the right, and we'll watch the drop of the RPM here. So I'll go that way, which is left, dropped a little bit, go back to the both, recovers, to the right, it drops, go back, and we're good. So that's good. So we've checked the magnetos, and we'll check the mixture. Now, in checking the mixture, what I do is I'll pull the mixture back a little bit. You'll see me pulling it back, and you'll see the RPMs are actually increasing, so that's working. So that's good. And the oil pressure is in the green. So we're back to full rich, throttle back to idle. Circuit breakers are all in, and I'll turn off the parking brake. We'll do this. So I'll turn off the parking brake and immediately turn on the regular brake so we don't go anywhere. And we're at the active runway. So before takeoff, we're gonna hold short. We're at the hold short line. And let's see what else we do. Heading bug. Heading bug is set for the first turn right there. 075. Right there. 075. It will be the first time. The flight plan is in for flight. We'll get our clearance. We'll say that's done. Takeoff time is 9:30 in the morning. Taxi lights and landing lights are on. Yep. Okay. Taxi and landing lights are on. We'll just leave those on during the flight. Okay. Most importantly, we're going to put the trim down. So I'm sorry, the flap down. So there goes the flap. It's right there now in the takeoff position. Okay, now it's time to look up here and pan this way. Nobody coming. Pan around to the runway. Nobody's on the runway. We're good. Okay. We will start the clock. So the clock right there. Okay, the clock is right here. I'm going to set it to be stopwatch right there, and we'll start the clock. That's good. And the transponder should be on, and not standby. So right there, F14, and now you can see it's in the on position. Okay. So for takeoff, this should be automatic. You should be able to memorize this checklist, and so we're set to go. I'm going to go out to the center line of the runway here.
Approaching runway 05.
Thank you.
Entered runway 05.
Thank you.
5,900 feet remaining.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Foreflight. Or Ms. Foreflight, I guess. Okay, so what I do now is, not very well here, let's get this back over. Give me a little speed, okay. I like to line up on the runway center line, right there, and hit the brakes. And we'll check the compass. That looks like good compared to this. I'll DG sync the compass. It moved a little bit, and that's good. Okay, fuel primer is off. Fuel pump we already checked on, and it's good. Battery generator switch still in a good position. Trim is neutral, and we are set to go. I always like to run it up a little bit, watch the engine gauges, they're good. I'll release the brake and add full power and steer down the runway here. Okay, rotated at 44, and we're gonna climb to 400 feet before we put the flaps up. In the climb here, between 60 and 65 will be fine. And there's coming up on 400 feet right there. Okay, flaps are up. As the flaps go up, I can get up to maybe 70 knots. Cruise climb at 75. And we're far enough away that we can go far enough high enough that I can start to my first turn. We're climbing to 2,000 feet, and I like that to be around 75 knots of airspeed in the climb. Slightly nose high. Okay, maintaining heading, watching the altimeter and the vertical speed and the heading. Okay, passing 500 feet for 2,000 feet, staying on heading. I'm going to start pulling the power back a little bit here, back to maybe 24 to 23, lower the nose a little bit. Make it a little easier to level off here. Okay, leveling off, pulling the power back to about 2,000, 2,200 in that range, and trimming. Okay. Lowering the nose and trimming some more so I don't climb. Airspeed will climb up close to 100 knots, and that'll be just fine with me. Still trimming the aircraft, holding level flight. Okay, so there's the beautiful South Carolina beaches, and out we go. Trimming nose down a little bit. Okay, I'm watching ForeFlight, and I'm slightly to the left of the course, so I'm going to actually turn this way a little bit to fly the course that ForeFlight has set for me. Okay, power back, airspeed's a little high. We'll get back closer to 100. I like to fly at about 2,200 or less here, and that usually ends up at about 100 knots. Okay, I'm on the ForeFlight route. And here we go, back to the heading I want. So, altitude's good, heading is coming back, airspeed is whatever it takes for 20, we'll push it up to 2,100, how's that? Okay, the distance that you see on this here is the GPS. That is the distance to the final approach fix on the ILS. And that's just a simple reference for me when I'm flying the ILS. Okay, we'll turn back this way a little bit. We're right on the course of the for flight. Obviously, one of the reasons why this airplane is popular is because it's light and maneuverable and easy for students to learn. The downside of it, it has no autopilot. Students don't need autopilot. Um, this is very comparable to the Cessna 152, and you'll see comparisons of that in other uh, playlists of my YouTube channel. Okay, looking good. We've got about 5 miles remaining till we get to the Williamson Airport, and you'll see it coming up in a minute. We can look out over the ocean. Okay, that looks good. We can look inland, and we're back here. Obviously, what you're seeing directly ahead here is the intercoastal waterway between the mainland of South Carolina and the beach side of South Carolina. Okay, I'm sorry. We've got about 4.5 minutes. I read the wrong thing. We're 7.3 miles from the airport. That's according to ForeFlight. So ForeFlight now says 7.0 nautical miles and 4.07 seconds. All right, doing a cruise check here. The cruise check says the fuel pump is off. This is a short flight. I'm going to leave it on because I have to turn it on for landing. The throttle is as required. No need to lean because we're only at 2,000 feet. The wing flaps are verified as up. Yep. And the elevator trim, we're good. We're close to 100 knots and in level flight. Airspeed, the RPM is creeping up a little bit. I'm going to pull it back to about 22 again. And we're following the ForeFlight. "2,000 feet is actually the altitude we'll use for the ILS approach here. Okay, let's see what we got here. So you can see 2,000 feet is the cruising altitude, and it is the initial approach fix altitude. And when we pass the initial approach fix, we can go down to 1,600 for the final approach fix. Okay, as you can see straight ahead now, there's the airport that I'm going to fly to. We're not going to land, obviously. It's a nice little airport. I've been there. Fairly small airport, but not a problem for this little small airplane. And it's a good place to go practice landings other than at your home field. The Grand Strand Airport is where we took off from, and that's the home airport for my aircraft. Every one of my X-plane aircraft have a home airport, and Grand Strand here in North Myrtle Beach is the home airport for this Diamond DA20. Okay, let's put a correction back in to be back to 2,000 feet here. I don't have to worry about the navigation because I can navigate to the airport just ahead. The other thing I like to use here as I come to the airport, still correcting up to 2,000 feet, is I like to use the HUD, and I'll turn the brightness up on the HUD, and you can see the little circle there. If it's on the line, I level off. If it's just above the line, I'll climb back up to 2,000 feet. Plus, it's an easier way to see when you get just above the airport, because that's my cue to turn. Okay, we're back to 2,000 feet according to the HUD, which is right. Okay, we're almost over the airport. I'm going to come back to my normal view. We're right at 2,000 feet, looking real good. Okay, so I'm going to change my heading bug. The next heading is, let's see, 300. So I'm going to change my heading bug over here to 300. There's a heading bug at 300, start my turn. So the 20 degrees of bank is fine. I don't need 30. I'll roll out just a little bit here. So the 300 will take me directly to the initial approach fix. But what I'm going to do is probably roll out a little early here, 310 to 305 in that range. Okay, right about there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to come back here a little bit because that's ForeFlight says I'm slightly off. Okay, so that's good right there. So I see what I did wrong. My heading bug was off. I put it at 3.3 and 3 instead of 3.0. Well, that's okay. That's why you got ForeFlight. Okay, so I'm going to fly a heading of about 310, and that will give me some time before I hit the initial approach fix to intercept the localizer. Okay, everything's looking good. If I slow down a little bit, I'm okay with that because we're going to be putting the flaps down soon. All I want to do is maintain 2,000 feet. So you can see here's the localizer. It's on. It's giving me a 2 indication down here. And what that means is it's going to be come flying across here pretty soon. And as it moves off the wall there, I'll start my turn and intercept that localizer. We'll intercept the glide slope on the localizer before we get to the final approach fix. And the final approach fix is this in the GPS here. And so the distance remaining is the distance to the final approach fix, not the initial approach fix. I try to make it simple in terms of navigating because you can't really let go of the yoke for very long, and it makes it difficult to do lots of things in terms of navigation, playing with the GPS or the VOR or whatever, and maintain a good steady flight. Okay, so we're at 2,000 feet, we're above 90 knots. I'm going to pull the power back to about 2,000. Right about there. And what that's going to do is tend to make me lose altitude, but what I really am looking for is I'll do a couple of clicks of up trim to counteract that. Okay, right there. And that'll get the airspeed back below 80 knots. You can see the white arc here. That white arc is when you can put the flaps down. The top of that white arc is 78 knots indicated. And so I want that down to 78 knots before I reach the localizer. Localizer is, oh, it's starting to move. Let's move with it. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. Right about there. Heading bug to 2, 3, 4. I won't use a heading bug a lot here because I've got a localizer to follow. And better than the localizer, pretty soon we will, I'm going to leave a small intercept into the localizer here. But pretty soon when we get on the localizer, we will be able to see the runway. And seeing the runway is much better than a localizer. Okay, so we're on the localizer. Runway is somewhere straight ahead. Okay. All right, final heading to on the localizer right there. Okay, if you look very sharply, right out there is the airport. My little pointer here is on the airport and I can see the VASI lights right there. So heck with the localizer, I got nature to tell me where to head. I'll head toward the airport. Okay, we're at the final approach fix. I'm sorry, we're at the initial approach fix, and we're slightly above the airspeed I want, so I'm going to pull the power back to about 1800, maintain 2,000 feet, and let the airspeed drop a little bit to maybe 75 to 70. Okay, here we go. Correct back toward the runway a little bit. Trim a little bit. You can see this little trim thing right here is moving. A couple more clicks up. Okay. Now that we're past the initial approach fix, I can actually start a descent. So I'll let the nose drop a little bit, pick up about a 400 or 500 foot per minute rate of descent here. Pull the power back a bit more because I want the airspeed to be below 78. All right, so this thing says we're 4 miles, 4.9 miles from the final approach fix. So we got a ways to get down to 1,600 feet. And what I'm planning to do is put the first click of flaps in about maybe 2 miles from the final approach fix, and I'll put the second click of flaps in at the final approach fix and start my descent to final. Especially on a VFR type of ILS approach, you can actually put your second click of flaps in when you see the glide slope coming in, and you'll be stable on the glide slope before you actually get to the final approach fix. Okay, 1,700 feet for 16, leveling off. Power back in to maybe 16 to 17 there. Trimming nose up a little to maintain our altitude. Okay, so we're 3.5 miles out right here. There says 3.5 miles to the final approach fix. correction into the localizer, turning right a little bit and getting the runway centered. Altitude looks good. Airspeed looks good. I'm going to touch the power in slightly because I'm about to put some flaps down. There we go. Okay. So 2.8 miles out, I'll put my first click of flaps in and verify the first click of flap is down. Yes, it's down. And airspeed, I want to hold about 70, not 60, so power coming back in a bit more. That tends to raise the nose, tends to require some down trim. Back to 1,600 feet here. Okay, power back. Okay, 70 knots looks good. One click of flaps in, 2 miles to go. As I get less than a mile, you'll see the glide slope become centered. The glide slope has already dropped. You can see right here the glide slope is coming down. So I'm going to watch the glide slope, and my altitude is a little high, so that would mean I'd intercept it sooner. So as the glide slope comes into play here, I'll just follow it down. Here we go. Okay, glide slope is here. I'm going to put my second click of flaps in, pull the power back a little bit, start a descent, trim my nose down, and hold the glide slope. 400 to 500 feet is enough for holding a glide slope. After the second clicks of flaps are down, the airspeed should be 65, no more than say 70, no less than say, I'm sorry, no less than 55, no more than 60. So I'm at 60 now, 400 foot per minute rate of descent on the glide slope, moving over to correct back to the runway. You can see the RPM is 15 and a half. I'm actually going to push it up to 16. So I don't want to get below 55 at this point. One of the reasons instructors like this airplane for teaching students is it's really slower than a Cessna, either a 172 or a 152. 55 on final makes it very easy to control, and you have to be patient. It takes a while to get there. Okay, airspeed is looking good at about 57. Glide slope is looking good. Maybe a little bit more vertical speed downward here. I'll try to get it back down to 400. Okay, vertical speed coming down to 400. Slightly above glide slope, so getting down to 400 to 500 will actually help. Airspeed still fine, close to 60. Correcting to line up with the runway. Checking the instruments. All the instruments are in the green. Okay, checking the power, looking good. Checking the vertical speed, looking good. Checking the airspeed, looking a little fast. I'll pull it back to 1550 maybe, right about there. You should get used to moving the RPM 50 RPM at a time. So it's now back to 15, almost exactly. I'm okay with that. I'll touch it a little bit. The throttle is fairly sensitive. You can make very minor changes, and it helps. Slightly above glide path, coming down back to 500 feet a minute. Still not lined up, putting a correction in. That's one of the VASI lights. Actually, that's a PAPI light. It's a four um, R, four meaning four lights.
2 mile final runway 23.
Thank you. We're on 2 mile final according to ForeFlight. So now I see, yeah, that's two red and two right PAPI lights. I'm used to calling them VASI lights because they were always vertical before. PAPI means they're parallel or in a row. VASI means there's one above the other vertically. So we got two PAPI, red and two white. Okay, we'll try to hold that. Alignment's looking much better. Still need a small correction in, and I'll change my heading back. Touching the power up to maybe 16. This far out, I don't want to get too fast. I don't want to get too slow. Everything's looking fine. I can descend a little bit. Keep my correction in this way. Airspeed's good. Throttle's good. Glide slope says I'm way off. That's okay. I'm trusting the PAPI lights here. When I fly one of these approaches, I don't always follow exactly what the glide slope is because I like to learn, because it's a visual and VFR, I like to learn how to read the PAPI lights. Power back, back to 15 I'll go, and let me drop a little more.
500.
500 feet, looking good. I'm aiming a little short of the runway just to get down a little bit more. You can see I'm close to 500 feet here. And pretty soon I'll change my aim point to the end of the runway there. All right, final adjustments for getting aligned with the runway here. Power back about 100 RPM at about 1400. Maybe a little bit more. My aim point is good. My airspeed's a little high. I'm just going to live with the aim point right here. Airspeed will take care of itself because I'm back to about 1300 RPM. Okay. Checking flaps were down there, and they were. That was just a verification, not a change. Nose up. And we're down. You can see I hit the main wheels first and then lowered the nose. Gonna tap the brakes to make sure they work, and they do. And I'll take the first takeoff here, which is right back to where we started from on the ramp. Okay, as I come off the runway, I'm going to put the flaps up. Check they're going up. That's fine. And I'll stop here for a minute and review the taxi to ramp, which is we're clear of the runway, we close the flight plan, taxi to the ramp, throttle is required, mixture should be full because it never changed, fuel pump I can turn off. So let me turn off the fuel pump right here. Okay, fuel pump is off. Put the flaps are up, did that. Exterior lights as required, strobe I can turn off. And so let me turn off the strobe right there. Landing lights I don't need, I'll leave the taxi and position lights on. Okay, find my parking spot next. And we'll just taxi on up there. Brakes are off, power coming in. Now, you can get used to taxiing from this view, but I always find it easier when I'm pulling in next to an airplane to take this view and lift up a little bit. Too much. There we go. And I find it much easier to park without hitting anybody's wingtips. Fortunately, the ramp's pretty empty. A lot of parked airplanes up here. North Myrtle Beach is obviously a fun place to go to. Lots of small airplanes here. It's one of the reasons I like this as my home airport. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, not make this turn, but I'll make the next turn. Okay, line up on this yellow line. Okay, a little bit of juice there to keep me going. Now, pick a parking spot I see over there and go right to it. Okay, using the brakes and power gingerly, line up right here. Okay, and pull on up. And we're there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I will call it here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for more videos.